Oh wait, what am I doing?
Oh, he called them the Florida Nazi.
Oh, hey.
Y'all.
You're gonna have to tell me what they said after. So welcome back to our channel. Like, share, and subscribe if you're on YouTube.
Yeah. Go to our YouTube channel. We need to like
Go to our
post the
YouTube.
QR code. We need to post the QR code.
Yes. Can we
Yeah.
post it on?
So I'm gonna try to figure out how I can do that. I'm gonna see if I could like post it to get people to like
Yeah.
the page.
But I think
It
we can post it on our Facebook page and our
yeah,
Instagram. I
it's
think
on
we
the
can do that on
Facebook
our
page.
page and Instagram.
Mm-hmm. I don't know if it's on the Instagram.
Okay, so then we're gonna have to put it on the Instagram too. No,
Mm-hmm.
and while you're talking about it, I'm gonna put it on there. So, hey, I'm Narnique Grant, and I'm one of your co-hosts. And Sandra Sheffer is our other co-host. We are here on Race and Races. So last week we had two candidates who are running. We still have an election going on. I think election day is next
And we
week.
did split that video.
Tuesday?
We did. So I also want to say that we did split the video because we ended up doing both on one video. And so if you watch the video, you only got to watch. You could. I created a separate video for Rudy Theophin for his video. So and we aired that Friday at 5:30. It's also on YouTube. So if you only want to see, if you're a Miramar resident and you only want to see the Rudy Theophin video, that's available. Our page. I mean, in the beginning of it, you see like Chef Jones playing with her dog, but that's only like a couple seconds, and then it goes into his video. And I just also want to say we did invite the current mayor of Miramar to come in, but he's really busy. It's campaign season, there's a lot going on, and I know that he's doing a lot of fabulous work, and that's why Mayor Messam hasn't been able to respond to us. But just in fairness, I just wanted to let everybody know, just in case they thought we did not invite him to the show. We did invite him to come, but I know he's super busy, and that's probably why he has not been able to reach out to us.
Yeah, there's a lot going on, and mayors and
he does great work. I ain't criticizing nothing that's happening in Miramar. Just make that clear. Yes.
Mayors and elected officials and commissioners, they're working hard.
Yeah,
got a lot going on, so we have to. We have to.
Working hard.
There's a whole bunch going on.
I know they working hard.
So listen. There's so much that they have to do because they have to combat what's going on. In state, and it goes down to the local level. So there's a lot going on that they have.
And this one of the times when it's like where how they say all elections are local. That's when it's important to make sure you have like some real good, decent local folks, because they can protect you from some of the nonsense that's happening in Tallahassee, right? You know what I mean? Because
and we got a lot of nonsense that's happening in Tallahassee. It's we got a super majority and we got issues. Okay, well, listen. There's a whole, and I'm going to play a video in a minute. But there's a whole bill that's trying to get rid of Democrats. This is what they're doing. They want to get rid of a party that talks about slavery. So,
listen, those of y'all that's not paying attention, that stuff is borderline socialism and communism happening. Like don't take it lightly. Don't take it lightly. Those are serious things that they're doing. That's really it may not feel like it's affecting your life, but it's affecting your life. I'm telling you, it's affecting your life. And it may not feel immediate, but they start with one group and just keep moving and just keep going and going and going. You have to pay attention to this and and fight against injustice.
It's ridiculous. So y'all need to pay attention because they out here causing all kinds of foolery. And hold on a second. 1 second. I'm sorry. I'm supposed to not show.
You're doing the video. Let me see if it posts the QR code.
Yeah, I'm trying. I was gonna put it on. Yeah, I gotta put. All right. So I don't know if you heard that. I apologize if that came.
Yeah, I don't know if you can see the image.
But anyway. No. I'm gonna I'll put it on and then I'll turn it on. So there's currently a bill. I forgot, and once I show you this clip from Joy Reid, I think she'll name the bill. But it's currently on. I think it's in the House, not the Senate of Florida yet, but the House. That it will effectively try to eradicate the Democratic Party. So the clip that I'm going to show you is going to Joy Reid is going to explain the history of the Democrats and the Republicans from in their inceptions, right? And what happens and why the Republicans in the state of Florida have decided that they're going to use this as effectively a way to kind of remove everyone who is a Democrat to a non-party affiliation. And because this state is a primary state, as we all know, you cannot vote in a primary state unless you've chosen a party. So I don't know how that's possible they can do it, but that is a bill nonetheless. And in the state of Florida where we live, we have a supermajority. That means there's a supermajority in the Senate and in the House, and they're all Republicans. They're not Democrats, and so we're now in a position where a lot of bills and a lot of laws can change to the detriment of many. So I'm going to share my screen so you can hear. You're on mute if you're trying to talk, Sandra.
Yeah, I can't tell if they can see the QR code that's posted. I just can't tell because on my end.
Where did you put it?
I put it in the chat, but I'm not sure if.
Let me see. Yeah. Let me see if it's in the chat.
And so I see Carla Michelle is watching. That's one of my parent leaders. And, we're parent leaders together. Thank you so much for always supporting the show. Truly appreciate all that.
I can't see it. All I see is IMG 84 JPEG. So I'm hoping you'll be able to see it. If not, we'll make sure that we put it on our Instagram page, and I think we already have it on our Facebook page.
Yeah, I'm just gonna have to delete that because if it's not showing, then it doesn't make sense for it to be there.
Let me see, because I'm not on my thing, and I don't have and I didn't get a notification.
I can't. It doesn't even let you delete it. It's just like block the user, put them on timeout. Like, what kind of foolishness is that?
I don't know.
Yeah, an option.
It always does that for some reason. Let me see in the comments. Let me look in the comments.
So it allowed me to delete it from somewhere, but one of them I can't delete.
I can't see. Oh, I see you deleted one. I think the YouTube one you can't delete.
Yeah, I guess I gotta go to YouTube.
You can't delete. You can't. Yeah, you gotta go.
So it's not showing, but that's okay. All righty. So how long is this video that you want to show?
I want to say it's about. I want to say it's about 2 minutes. She kind of gives a breakdown.
Yeah, we can do a 2-minute video because people ain't came here to watch 7-minute videos. But all right, then let's talk about that because it's actually important that they're trying to get rid of the party, and then we'll talk about a few of the things that we already know that they're trying to push forward, like some of the bans on reproductive rights, just some of the things they're doing. They're trying to expand, like you said, the Don't Say Gay woke bills, getting rid of D&I and all types of things. That's really, that's very regressive. There's nothing progressive about what they're doing. They've made progression, being progressive, turn it into a bad word, but regression is even worse. And, we really need to be cognizant of what's happening and, get our people to, get people to push back and let their elected officials know that this is not what they're trying to see happen.
A Republican in Florida's state legislature has filed a bill that, if enacted, would eliminate the Florida Democratic Party. No, I'm serious. The Ultimate Cancel Act, and that is the bill's real name, would cancel the filings of any party that previously advocated for slavery, which the Democratic Party did more than 150 years ago. It's a performative move, toxic and deceptive, but it also serves as an educational opportunity to examine the fascinating story of our two major political parties. Now, usually I don't do this because Black History Month is over, but want to hear it? Here it goes. Back in the day, we're talking way back, the mid-19th century, to be exact, the Republicans were indeed the anti-slavery party. It was the Democrats of the South who wanted to preserve slavery and who opposed Republican Reconstruction legislation. It may sound a little disorienting, but basically the Republicans were the liberals, while Democrats were the staunch conservatives who wanted to remain slaveholders forever. As you can imagine, once the Civil War was over and the 13th, 14th, and 15th Amendments gave Black men the right to vote, at least on paper, Black voters preferred and importantly voted essentially unanimously for the Republican Party. But over time, the parties flipped ideologies. They literally switched brands. The shift happened for many different reasons and took decades to complete. But in very simplistic terms, the Democrats, who remember were the conservatives, began to defect over their party's increasingly pro-civil rights platform. The shift was gradual, but punctuated by 20th century Democratic presidents. Franklin D. Roosevelt, who dramatically transformed the Democratic Party by launching the New Deal after the Great Depression. His successor, Harry Truman, who pushed to desegregate the military after World War II. John F. Kennedy, who shifted on civil rights after a series of violent attempts to integrate Southern universities. And Lyndon Baines Johnson, who signed the Civil Rights and Voting Rights Acts, breaking the party's ties with Southern conservatism, the breakaway Dixiecrats, and white supremacy. By the time Ronald Reagan became president in 1980, conservatism was the prevailing ideology of the Republican Party, meaning modern-day Republicans are nowhere near what they were 150 years ago or even 50 years ago. But even with all this history in mind, there is another thing. Do not let today's Republicans trick you into thinking the pre-20th century Republican Party was free of racism. Remember, it was the Republicans back in the old days who were anti-slavery. Following emancipation, the party consisted of both white and Black Americans. They literally called themselves the Black and Tans. But as the 1800s ended, some of those white Republicans weren't too happy about the gains made by their Black counterparts and wanted to eliminate them. The Lily White movement emerged within the Republican Party as an organized effort to drive Black folks out of party leadership. At the same time, Black Americans were moving north in the Great Migration, and their votes were being courted by big city Democrats. This happened in the waning days of Reconstruction when it began, which means white racist republicanism predates the 1960s. Racism is a complicated religion, after all. The true story about our political parties, it is the stuff today's Republicans don't want you to learn. It's how they continue to lie and to gaslight and co-opt the abolitionist legacy of Abraham Lincoln. Which is why this bill in Florida to cancel the modern-day Democratic Party because Southern Democrats advocated for slavery during the Civil War is both dumb and anti-historical. It's also dangerous. If Florida Republicans had it their way with this bill, millions of Democratic voters would be notified that their party no longer exists. It would automatically change their voter registration to no party affiliation. Essentially, it's the legislative version of DeSantis's election police, disenfranchising mainly voters of color who would no longer be able to vote in the state's closed primaries. Even worse, this isn't the only message bill Republicans are cooking up to excite their base and own the libs. Florida is moving to expand the Don't Say Gay law, this time waging a war against pronouns.
Lord have mercy.
Yeah, so much to unpack, you know. And the reason why that video is important to show today is because the legislative session has started. The next, you know, the House members and Senate members are in Tallahassee for the next 60 days trying to figure out what kind of laws they're going to make in order for the state to, I don't know, move forward or backwards, what direction they try to take the state in. But that's why, you know, those kind of conversations are important. And if there's some of the things that you're hearing about and you have an issue with it, man, start calling your legislators and let them know. They all have local offices. They have legislative aides. Just call them and like, listen. And that's, you know, not only the ones that you voted for, call the other ones too. Because like Narnique said earlier, that we do have a supermajority, that the Republicans do have a supermajority in the state. So you need to call some of them. Like we need to call all of them, as a matter of fact, and let them know like this is not what people are trying to hear. And we need all the allies, you know, to really step up. Like this is the moment for the allies to truly step up and get involved and tell their friends and go talk to their daddies and their mamas and their cousins and their brothers and tell them, say, listen, you guys really need to fight. You know, you really need to fight against this. Fight against all this because it's just not right. You know what I mean? It's absolutely not right. There are times where, you know, something might be on the fence. It might just be a matter of preference. But this is one of them situations where the things that they're trying to do right now is absolutely just not right.
And not only is just not right, it's just we have so many pressing issues, housing issues. We have insurance issues. We have so many pressing issues, and the fact that the legislators are sitting here making bills on
culture
things that are, it's just like, what are we doing?
They call it cancel culture. Like, just for example, when you talk about like more pressing issues, my mom has to have like she has to have like 2 different insurance policies on her house, right? And her wind policy, we paid it last year, it was like $2,500. She got a renewal for $4,700. Like, are you kidding me? And it's not like this woman filed a claim or did anything like that, right? The policy went up over $2,000. My mom's is going to be 80 this year, right? On like a fixed income, and for there to be no protections. Like if they want to do something for people, you really should find some sort of way to help elderly folks, right? As opposed to like worrying about, what's being taught in school. Those things are supposed to be taught in schools, and you're supposed to teach everything in schools and give people the option and the opportunity to figure out like how it is that they want to think, believe, and live, right? That's what academic institutions are for. So instead of trying to figure out how they can help my mama with this crazy high insurance bill that she has to pay, they're out here worrying about like just nonsense. It's too
foolery.
Much. Too
foolery. Much. And there's currently and people, please, the FloridaChannel.org. If you have when you have some time and opportunity, I'm
gonna say make some time.
Listen, you have to listen to what's going on. Those sessions are videotaped. They're archived. You are able to view them even after they've happened. But it's important that you are aware of what these lawmakers what legislations they're creating, because there's bills out there for insurance companies where you can't even go after your insurance company anymore. So now they're erring on the side of the companies rather than the people. There's bills out there for vouchers for school where it doesn't really benefit those in low to social economic areas. It doesn't benefit them at all. It really only benefits those with money. There's bills out there that are destroying the housing system, and we need to be paying attention to those things. And FloridaChannel.org, this is where you hear all of them speak about it. They go into great detail. Some of it may seem very mundane and you can't really kind of sift through it, but I promise you, if you pay attention and you listen, you will hear what will be affecting you. Make the time to listen to what these legislators are doing. We are now at a supermajority, as I mentioned earlier, and they are passing bills by the boatload in terms of their party agenda. Which means
but their agenda ain't to like make nothing better. It's literally to try to tell people how to think. And one of the things that they keep talking about is all this indoctrination. I'm like, what y'all doing is indoctrination, because y'all really trying to have
what it is.
One way of thinking to exist, right? And then they're doing things that's like not making schools any better. Like, how is it like they're trying to teach less in schools? I'm like, the kids already come out. You spend 12 years in school to come out with an 8th grade education, and you want to teach less? Like, that don't seem to be the right direction.
You better amplify that. You go to school for 12 years just to come out with an 8th grade education. They don't even teach these children how to critically think. You don't learn about critical thinking until you're in college. That is asinine to me. That makes that what's the purpose? Then what is the purpose of that? So there's a place so you can house your kids, and then they're being watched by people. Like, these are educators who went to school to be educators. They want to educate these children, and then you're basically tying their hands and telling them that they have to educate them how you want them to be educated. That makes no sense to me.
No, it makes no sense. And so one of the things I want to start doing is to stop and let people who are watching know that please go and subscribe to our YouTube channel. We're trying to really build that brand and, and just increase the followers there. Thank you guys for liking the page on Facebook. Yes. We also need you to go on over to the YouTube channel and just hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. I truly appreciate it. And the QR code is actually on this Facebook page too, that you can go and just scan it and it'll take you straight to the page. And you can just go ahead and like the page. So I needed to make that announcement, and I will probably make it again.
And make sure you click the notification button when you subscribe so that you can get notifications when we're on.
But
so you'll be able to kind of get
yes, absolutely do that too. But like the page and like the videos.
I think when you like the page, there's that notification button too. So do both.
Do both. Yes.
All right.
So we can get our video. Go through if y'all want to go through and just like every video. It's like about 100 people on that channel. Just go and like
them all. Just like them all.
Thank you.
Go through the go through and like them all.
Like them all.
Like them all.
Thank you.
And we're gonna do our best to kind of condense our time because some of our videos are like long. So we're gonna work on timing.
They be good. Y'all don't even realize y'all stay here for 2 hours and listen to us talk. They be good.
It be juicy. So we were on. Well, I was at the school board meeting, and
I
reason
watched,
for it,
not the whole thing, because it was 6 hours, but I did watch some of it.
Right. Yeah, and I didn't stay long. I did my report and left. And I am the chair of the diversity committee, so I had to do a report. And we've been doing site visits at different schools. Went to a site visit today. I was just floored by how great that school operates, and I think it's important that people understand that school, and I'll talk about it a little bit. But before that, so we had our meeting. Well, they had their meeting, and we had to do our report. And in my report, one of the things that are going on in the district right now is now we're talking about boundaries and overcrowdingness. So the district has a very much issue. Number one, they're losing children by the boatload. Okay, so much so that
where are they going? When you say they're losing students, where are they going?
So the statistics show, or the data shows, that they're either losing these kids to charter schools, private schools, or Florida virtual. Like they're doing online courses, or
they're still kind of connected to the public school system, though, right? It's not like so that just means that they're not. They're still connected to the public school system. Florida virtual just means that they're not in the classroom, but it's still public school, right?
Yes. Well, it depends. Okay.
It
depends on if it's something that's can you, because I know my Wi-Fi.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Kind of shoddy. Is it okay now? Are you okay? Yeah. It all depends, because some kids are not in the school district, but they take Florida virtual school. And then those who are registered in the school can still take classes on Florida virtual school. So it all depends on where the child is and where they fall into. The school does not get FTE funds for kids who are solely on Florida virtual school, because they're not physically in the school, so they're not considered as one of their students, right? And each child in a school is money, and that's how they create their budget. The last workshop, they talked about losing $32 million of federal funding because they were under-enrolled of students that are gone, right? Mm-hmm. They've been trying to recapture those kids, but it's been very difficult for the district to do that. I think there was a decline when after COVID, as we steadily came back. There were about 5,000 kids not accounted for. They dwindled that number down, found all those kids. Some of them didn't come back. However, they've been steadily losing kids. And I think some of the reasons for that is going to other places, yes, but now you have a group of people that are attacking the school because they feel like, with public school that is, because they feel like one of the things is the banning of the books. That's another thing you all should be paying attention to with the legislator. They're out here just kind of, I don't know what aversion does the governor have with education, but it's so much so that he's attacking every little bit of what we have going on, to the point where we're losing teachers, we're losing staff, and we're losing kids.
So I don't even know if I would say that there's an aversion that he has to education, because he went to some fine schools because he realized there was some value in education, and I'm sure his children go to some very fine school, and he's gonna make sure that they're educated and they're decent in this world, right? The dude is he's basically playing a game with folks, right? He's like he has a base of folks who aren't as educated, because if they were, right, like there's no way they would tolerate some of the stuff that he's doing, right? If education was a thing for them, this is not, they would totally like fight against this, right? So he's basically pandering to folks. He thinks this is what's going to make him president, right? And that's what he's doing. So it's not like he hates education or he's pandering to education. He's pandering to the worst part of some people. And I'm not saying everybody's like that, but he's pandering to the worst part of people who want to be racist, who want to be sexist, who want to be homophobic, who want to be all of those things, who want to control women. You know, happy International Women's Day to everybody. Okay, March 8, 1909, it all started. So happy International Women's Day to everybody that's here. But he just thinks that those are the people that are going to vote for him, right? People who, you know, don't want to see people of color do anything, who don't want to see people love who they want to love, who don't want to watch women go out here and be great and do great things. That's all he's doing. A man don't care nothing about whether people are educated or not, right? Because he is for sure going to make sure his kids get educated. And they're going to learn all that history he don't want them to know, because he know in order for them to truly understand and how they can make the world a better place, they do need to understand all of those things, right? And he's going to make sure they get that information. But don't think of it, I would say, don't think of it in terms of him hating education. He's just pandering to the worst parts of humanity. That's all. And I'm not saying those people are the worst. They're getting what's the word to they're getting bad information, right? Like, for example, and I'm kind of running on, but I'm gonna just make one other point. And the reason why I'm like, it's not necessarily all of their fault. Because, for example, that you know, the Dominion lawsuit against Fox News, that's that voting company that had the voting machine that Fox was saying like they cheated and they did this and they did that, and that's why the former president went and all of this stuff, right? So some of the transcripts from the depositions and all that was part of that lawsuit of the Fox News anchors, those anchors, Tucker Carlson, Laura Ingraham, what's the other one? I can't remember the other guy. They're out here talking about how much they love Trump.
Hannity, whatever his name is, Hannity. Sean Hannity.
They're talking about, you know, when they get on the news, they're talking about, oh yes, you know, Trump this, that, whatever. They lost the election, and then behind closed doors, they texting each other like, "I hate this dude. He's an idiot. He's the worst," and all of this kind of stuff, right? So it's not. So a lot of those folks who think they're who's behaving as though they're racist, sexist, homophobic, they're probably not. Right? They're probably not, but they're out here they're watching Fox News that's telling them to be this horrible type of person, and they're feeding into that, right? Because we're basically in a space right now where you can narrow your world as small as you want it to be, and you can continue to feed yourself the same type of information because we can control so much of what we consume. So those folks who out here thinking that they're racist and sexist and all, they probably ain't none of that. It's just that they've been bombarded by that information, and they're starting to feed into that, right? But they're being lied to, like, by the news of all things, right? Like, if you can't trust the news, then like, where are you supposed to get your information from? So they're literally
exactly.
So I'll give some of them a pass, maybe not all of them, because some of them probably are like whatever to the bone, but I'm gonna give some of them a pass because they're absolutely being lied to by some of these networks. And what's coming out in those transcripts about Fox News in the last couple of days is proof that they're being lied to, because even the people that's telling them that stuff don't even believe it their own daggone self, right? So the governor who wants to be president think that he needs to continue with these lies and just manipulate, right? Manipulate to take advantage of those people in order for them to vote for him.
So Chuck Schumer made a comment and said that Tucker Carlson asked him to come on, and he was like, "I'll come on only, but you got to be honest and say that you lied about the people on January 6th." So he's like, "I'll come on if you apologize. If you apologize, they do got receipts." So Chuck Schumer was like, "Well, listen, I'll come on your show. You invite me on, but you got to come tell the people the truth that's not what you believe. You didn't believe that. Tell people that. And then I'll come on your show." So like, yeah, I mean, and you know, for me, I feel like you're right. He probably is doing that because he's pandering to it, but it comes off as you have an aversion to education. That don't mean that
he might be a trash dude for real, right? Like, he might be a trash dude for real, but his motivation is that, oh, this is what he thinks he needs to do in order to become president, because that's what 45 did in 2016 to become president, like telling people how he gonna drain and swap and all this crazy stuff. You know what I'm saying? They doing that infomercial stuff, you know, trick people in the middle of the night, and then the product they deliver ain't nothing.
And what it says it is.
It ain't what it could be.
And not at all. So the district in Broward County is losing students. They're losing federal funding. And now they're trying.
Well, would it be that they're losing federal funding? So if you're losing students and you have less students, don't you need less money to operate anyway? So you understand what I'm saying? Like they're saying, oh yes, we're losing money, but if you've lost students that you're not providing any services for, right, then you should be able to work with the budget that you have because the money was based on the students that you had. So figure it out. You know what I'm saying? Like, figure it out. You're not taking care.
It goes to
students. So what do you mean you're losing students? If you're losing students, you're losing money. That means you're providing less service for less people. So you need to figure how to make that work. Is all I'm saying.
And to your point, I just feel like the math ain't mathing.
It ain't mathing.
It's not mathing.
Less people to deal with.
And so I feel like that is the most simplistic response.
Well, and then so I guess part of what they'll say is like we still have these buildings that were supposed to have a certain amount of students in it, and we got to still pay because there's some fixed costs to operation, whatever.
Well, there is.
Comes about should they close some of the schools, right? Because I guess that might be where it is.
So yes, that's the term. The term they keep using is right sizing the district. So so there's schools that are under enrolled, right? And they have to make a decision if they're going to combine them with other area schools to shut them down and make that what your assertion was and make it work with the less. Well, those are the schools that are in question.
I'm gonna just say,
when you have a school that's in an affluent. I'm saying, let me just tell you, schools that are
like where I live, it's 3 elementary schools within like 2 miles of each other. 3 elementary schools where I stay at. It's one outside my gate. It's one on the next main street.
I can tell you.
It's 4. Well, no, actually, it's 5. It's 5 elementary schools within 3 miles of 2 to 3 miles of where I live. It's 5 elementary schools in a charter that has elementary. That's between Miramar Parkway and Pembroke Road, 184th and Dyke.
I can tell you. I'm just saying
around here.
So based on what you're saying, right? So I am to assume that those schools are not overcrowded. And those schools are at capacity with what they need because apparently they had to make those many schools in that radius that you're talking about.
Listen,
I'm pretty sure all those schools are in a zone together.
So you know how the school system is always behind, right? So when they decided to make the school, they probably needed it, but they don't finish nothing on time. So by the time they finished the elementary school, all them kids was like in probably middle and high school, so they ain't need that elementary school no more. So I'm just saying, it's a whole bunch of them around here.
So my report was on. So Stoneman Douglas is overcrowded, right? Mm-hmm. They know. So the public school where I live in Parkland is supposedly overcrowded. And so they're trying to do a boundary change. Like they're trying to do that ASAP. The problem I have with that is that my committee, the diversity committee, is supposed to be part of the process and wasn't part of the process on the onset. However, we're tacking on here in the middle, right? The board has already agreed or made a consensus to a proposal that removes 351 kids. But these 350 will not remove, those 351 kids will not be entering or will not matriculate into Douglas, right? But the problem with that is that the area superintendent, I look like I'm frozen, but can you still hear me?
I can hear you.
The area superintendent. Okay, the area is it the area superintendent? But the area person, the top person there, stated the reason for the rush to do the boundary is because it's a safety issue. It's overcrowded safety issue. However, that proposal only removes. Well, not remove, let me take that back. That proposal will not allow 88 kids per school year for the next 4 years not to matriculate. And that gives you that 300 and some odd number. But the safety issue is not addressed. You're still overcrowded with the kids that are in there. So my point that I made was that the area person was being disingenuous when the board member asked, hey, this is a safety issue. This is why we're rushing this, right? And his response was, yes, it's not a safety issue if you're not removing the issue that's causing the safety in the first place. That's number one. Number two, the voices of the parents in Parkland are amplified, and then the voices of those who are affected by this change are not enough and basically voiceless and don't have enough people advocating for them. And what I said to the board members was,
well, that's what the board is supposed to do. That's what the superintendent is supposed to do, is supposed to advocate for those people, right? Like, because exactly. The money that goes to the public school system is for all of the schools, not just some schools in particular, right? So even if those schools aren't advocate for themselves, that's why, you know, you have these board members there. That's why you have a superintendent. They're supposed to make sure that everyone in the public school system is getting a good education. So.
And then one of the things that I mentioned, and you're absolutely right, Sandra. And the other thing that I mentioned is that the city of Parkland annexed parts of Palm Beach County to expand their territory. And when they expanded,
so will that become part of like Broward County, or that's still going to be Palm Beach County? What is that? What happens? What does that mean?
No,
so if it's in Parkland, it becomes part of Broward. So they're buying Palm Beach and making it Broward. All right, I just want to understand.
Yes.
Thank you.
So now the parts that were, and the other city needs to be in agreement, and Palm Beach County was in an agreement for them to annex that area. And now it's Parkland, right? So now you've opened up your territory or your city by, let me use the word city. You've expanded your city where construction and building of homes are constantly going on. So this city is growing by leaps and bounds, right? And people are flocking the area like they're giving the houses away. All right. And now you have families coming in. So are we really, when we're making this boundary change, are we really talking about those students? And let's be clear,
are they planning on building a school, or what they're going?
Broward County cannot build an extra school. You know why Broward County can't build an extra school?
No,
because every seat in Broward County schools have to be full to capacity before they even think about constructing another school. They can't do it. But their policy prohibits them from doing that. So they can't. Now, if Parkland wants a charter company to come in and open up another school and they can do that, which they have. But that charter school only goes from K through like 4th grade currently. And then I think every year they try to add on a grade or whatever the case is. But at the end of the day, Stoneman Douglas is a public school. It doesn't belong to Parkland. It's a public school. Okay. And so now you're wanting to remove students from Coral Springs, which is a neighboring area. The kids are zoned for Douglas. These are not kids that are not zoned for Douglas. These kids are zoned for Douglas. But you want to remove them so you can make extra room for all
the Palm Beach County ones, whose houses aren't even built yet.
That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
That's what that is. Okay. That's what it is. And then that doesn't stop the school from being overcrowded, though, because you still got that influx of people. So to me, it's like, why are we doing it that way? And you don't have that group in Coral Springs. There was maybe 4 people at the workshop that came to advocate for them, while Parkland had like 10, 15, 20 people. Okay, the disparity was high. And I think that is a school board member's responsibility to say, hold on, wait a minute. Just because there's only 4 people don't mean that these people don't care about their kids being uprooted and put somewhere else.
That don't mean that the school board members or the board doesn't do their job and make sure they advocate for all children in Broward County. So
that's all I'm saying. Okay. So I was there.
Yeah. So you talked about safety. So part of the board meeting that I did see was like they're trying to get this expensive dog that could smell guns or something, ammunition on campus.
Well, I thought they had already agreed to allow that dog to be in a specific school.
Coconut Creek, I think it was. Coconut Creek paid for the training. I think it was Coconut Creek paid for the training.
Correct.
And now they want to make it like district, like county-wide or something like that, right? Y'all got money for that? Y'all got money for that?
First of all,
y'all got money for that.
So here's the thing. When they initially brought it in before Osgood left, one of her comments was, we have to look at this in a holistic thing, because I think one of her things is I have to look at the date, what date it was, and you can see the video for that. She mentioned dogs and African Americans and how that is a trigger for us, right? And that if you're planning on bringing a dog, right? And she was like, I'm a Black person. I'm gonna tell you, a lot of Black people are afraid of dogs. We don't mess with dogs. We don't, there's also
reason for that, and it's not. And so listen, now
she brought up the historical.
Let's not just
brought the historical reason
up. We're not trying to diss all the dogs, right? We dissing the police looking dogs, right? Like, and German Shepherds, like, we're not, like, hey, I heard they nice and they good and all that stuff like that. But it's
a trigger
that historically used to be used as weapons against people of color.
And that's what she said. She did mention. She said historically these dogs were used when we would march. They would use these dogs to sick them on us or whatever. So we have a history of trauma with dogs. That's what she said. And she said specifically German Shepherds are police dogs. So she said we have to think about what we're talking about here. And the question becomes, Sandra, where would those dogs go? Which schools? Are we picking the schools randomly, like we picked them randomly to wand them? Is that what we're doing?
I don't know what they're trying to do. I'm like, yeah. And again, listen, I'm all about safety, because when I send my kids to school, I expect them to come back home, right? I do what y'all need to do. Mm-hmm. Is that the best solution for that, man? I don't know. But what I know is a bigger problem in these schools. There's a whole bunch of dope in these schools too. What if y'all was trying to say y'all finna bring a drug dog up in there? I might have been like, yeah, that might make a little more sense, right? Because them students over there getting high. But you trying to go spend how much money to find like a maybe gun, maybe?
Well, how do you know it's not? They're not here for drugs too.
No, because
don't believe the hype, sis.
No. What I'm saying is those dogs are only trained for one thing. So that's one of the things. Like I tell my students, like if a canine unit come, you got to know what that dog is trained for. Like, because some dogs who are trained to sniff out bombs don't smell drugs. Like you only train it for one specific thing.
Okay.
Who finds drugs, that's what they do, and they're not looking for no bombs. They're not trained to look for bombs. The ones who are cadaver dogs, they're trained for a specific purpose. So those dogs can't do all things, right? So if they're saying that's what that dog is trained for, and if that dog goes in there and they start finding drugs, they're gonna know that people were lied to, and that in those cases can't hold up anyway, because you can't say we're bringing a bomb sniffing dog and then you really brought a drug dog in, and everybody who's in that industry knows that if it's a bomb sniffing dog, they can't sniff out drugs. So
you better talk that talk.
So the dog got to be what it is, be able to do what they're saying the dog does.
Okay.
Y'all broke as far as y'all concerned, and y'all trying to find ways to pay for dogs. Like, come on, man. Like, listen. All right.
I think they got a slush fund.
And I don't understand what y'all doing as a school board, right? Like, I
feel like they got a slush fund, because I don't understand how you bringing in all this stuff or whatever, but you can't find no money to do no other stuff.
To take the mold out the damn buildings and get roofs and cafeterias done. Like, I just leave me alone. Like, I'm over y'all with this with the shits. Like, seriously. And then the other thing that they talked about yesterday that I saw today was about the health insurance, right? And so it's something that I don't even know if it was the people who provide the health insurance as opposed to those people manage the health insurance plans. Like, I couldn't even figure out what them people do for the $31 million that they're getting, right? And one of the board members was like, let's table this item and, bring us some more information or whatever. Then I think it's the Maite lady. She started talking like, oh, well, we did that already. Even though they ain't bring them no real data, they just going to go on her word, and then they all vote for it unanimously. I'm like, man, listen, y'all, this is the problem. Y'all still letting people come with half information. You know what I'm saying? Or not bring you the information you need. Then you act like you about to go do something. And then she comes and whisper whatever kind of sweet nothings in y'all ear. And then y'all go like, oh, yeah, okay. Oh, okay. Thank you for letting us know that you did all that. Yes, approved. 9-0. Go ahead and get these.
But see, and that's my problem. My problem is.
Let me tell you. So mind you, this the same people that they gave the $31 million to had originally, like last year or the year before, given them a bid that was $10 million higher. But because they brought in competition, they was like, okay, we gonna bring the number down because we don't want to lose the business. She said that with her own mouth. So if they were willing to try to rob the district of $10 million a year before, I would come and bring them some more competition, because clearly they could still do this for less. Then, if they don't want to lose the business, you could do it for less too.
It's the fact that these board members are not using their purview to say, if I don't understand something, I'm gonna table it. I don't want to have no discussion about that.
They don't need to.
I want information.
They don't really need to make a decision till December, right? Like, this contract don't end till December. Y'all could have waited till the next meeting to get some more information before y'all said okay to giving these people $31 million.
But what's so ironic is that they're willing to put things on a back burner that need immediate attention, and they have enough information to make a decision. Mm-hmm. They'll put that on the burner quick. But something like this, that you like, this could wait another month.
It could. For us to understand this better. It really could have waited.
They didn't do it, and it just bothers me, because, like, to me, board members need to stop vacillating like that. You either you doing what's best for the district, or you doing what's best for you.
They doing what's best for their clients.
You need to make a decision. You can't vacillate when it comes down to money, especially when kids are going without, because y'all sitting here trying to fix the garbage that you all created. So stop vacillating on that. If you don't understand,
what are they fixing? I haven't seen them fix nothing yet. What the board members fixing? What they fix?
I haven't. I'm gonna be honest. I haven't seen any material movement or difference or
I guess anything that I. They got rid of the last superintendent. That was a good fix. I think that was good. That was good.
Yeah, that was good. That was good. But as far as organizational wise and the toxic culture and all that other stuff, I'm hoping Dr. Smiley is having enough no resistance in implement.
Well, she don't have resistance. She just gotta not care and just do what's right. You know.
Well, what I mean by, like, nothing tying her hands to not be able to implement. That's what I'm trying to say. I feel like I'm hoping that she's not, she's not being like hitting a brick wall and she's not getting through because of things that could be easily removed out of her way. You know what I mean? I'm hoping she's having an opportunity to really get in there. And then the rush to get a new superintendent, y'all got to slow that down.
Slow that down.
Where y'all going? What we doing? Why are we rushing?
Take your time.
Why are we rushing?
Let her fix this.
The same way we were putting off.
Y'all don't got no time to interview nobody now. Y'all got other stuff to do before the school year out. You ain't got time to be interviewing no dang nobody.
Let her take it on until the end of during the school, end of the school year, during the summer, whatever. And all of next year. Let her figure that out. But what's the rush? We already broke. We're already broken. Okay, well, I mean, there's no rush to bring in somebody to. Listen, we're already in full swing in crisis mode. That's where we at.
Mm-hmm.
Let her be able to kind of let the dust settle. Let her be able to bring down, like, it's like when you have a hive, you got to get something to kind of bring it down, right? Let her bring down the inflammation, right? So then so we can see clear. We can't see anything right now. Let her do that. But what's the rush? Where we going? What we doing?
What is the rush? What is the rush?
Where we going? What we doing? I don't know.
Where we going?
Anyway, so if you are into the school board and you're into the district or whatever, stuff like that, I would ask that you go and look at some of the videos. You ain't got to watch it all, but you need to be.
And they have the agenda that kind of tell you, like, I think when you go to the videos, it tells you the item, and if you click on it, right, it'll take you to that part of the video.
Right. There you go. Yes, absolutely. So whatever interests you and the heading interests you, go straight to that part and then hear that conversation, because if it directly affects you, you want to make sure you understand what's going on and what the process are. And always remember, whatever you don't get and you're not sure about and you want more information, you can always do a public records request. You can email the school, the district.
And now they're responding to them. They might not have been responding to them before, but you can get some answers now.
Rest assured, they are responding to these emails with these public records requests, and they're providing the public with the request that they're requesting.
Yes.
So I would, encourage all of you to, get you some public record requests on any information that you think that is pertinent to your area and your community, so you can advocate properly and have the proper information moving forward. Also, go to the floridachannel.org. Please, please, please make time. If you have a Sunday that's coming up and you free and you got like about an hour and a half or 2 hours that you want to burn,
if you're in traffic, listen to it in the car. Don't watch, just listen. You just got to
listen to it again. Yep, you just got to listen to what they're talking about, honey, because let me tell you, these people are sneaky. You hear me? Sneaking things into bills and all that other stuff or whatever. Y'all need to be paying attention. This is like what? I feel like this antebellum, honey. It's like
crazy.
We in
this crazy.
Listen,
this is crazy, and we know better. So that's the thing. That's the part. It's like if you ain't know better, then maybe listen. We know better. We know better. We know better.
Yeah, we know better. So make sure you remember there's election next week. Sandra's city, Miramar, is having election.
Only our mayor's up for election. Only our mayor's on the ballot.
Oh, that's right. Some of your other people are automatically didn't have opponents.
Yeah, they didn't have opponents. Only the mayor did.
Okay, didn't have. Okay, so only the mayor. Coconut Creek is having North Lauderdale.
I think Nessie Fry is running for a commission seat in Coconut Creek.
In Coconut Creek, yes.
Yeah, I think she's running.
She's running. We had Michelle Jones from North Lauderdale running for
North Lauderdale.
North Lauderdale. Her mama live in Tamarack,
and she used to live in Tamarack too.
Yeah, to take care of her mama. Yeah. So the Coconut Creek, North Lauderdale, Miramar, and I think there was
like three other cities.
Is it the 15th or the 14th?
14th, March 14th.
March 14th. So elections are next week. There is no early voting. You have to go straight to your precinct
or do vote by mail.
Vote by mail. If you haven't, as of January, we started all over again, and you have to request your mail-in ballot. So we want to push that because 2024 is around the corner. Literally around the corner. Literally. Come November around this time, we're going to see a lot of busy stuff. There's going to be a lot going on. We will come with hot news when we got it. We will come with some information if we have it. But we will be pushing hard that we be part of the process. Get your voters registration thing situated. Make sure you do that now. Get your, apply for your mail-in ballot. Do that now, today, and go on to the Broward. What is it? The Broward
vote
election.
It's BrowardSOE.org or you could do Broward Votes.
Broward Votes. Head there with a quickness. Okay, make sure that your ballot, you're registered to vote. Everything is okay with your voting registration. Jump on that now. Do not wait to the last minute, because I'm telling you, I think people want to wait when they start seeing things heat up and see who the Democratic nominee is and who's the Republican nominee and whatever. Y'all want to start then? Don't start then. Start
because you have control over who the nominee is. You have control
learning about the issues.
Yeah, you have control over who the nominee is. So you got to be involved early.
Yeah, you got to be involved early. So we are basically telling you, we begging you, get onto your stuff when it comes down to your voters registration. Don't play. Don't waste no time. Democracy is.
Don't waste your time liking our page on YouTube.
Okay.
Racist.
And go like all the videos. Like all the videos. Like all the videos. And like. You ain't got to watch them. You ain't got to watch them.
They good, but just go through and like other videos and subscribe to our Racing the Racist channel on YouTube.
You can always go back and look at the videos.
Watch them. That's a lot of hours, but yeah, and some of those candidates, at least from the 2020 cycle, I don't know if they're on this one or the Democratic Women's Club page, but some of those candidates are going to be running for re-election. So there's some videos out there, and you can compare it to what they said then and what they said now. So yeah, go subscribe to the channel. Click the QR code. Tell your friends, everybody, to go ahead and like the page.
Tell your mama, your sister, Tell your mama, your sister,
Everybody.
Put you down the street, everybody, and hop on YouTube, because I think YouTube is the best place for y'all to find us. Hop on YouTube. Facebook is good too, but I know people always on YouTube anyway. So tell your friends to go in and like, share, and subscribe. And click the notification button. Just go like it. Enjoy.
Yes.
And we're gonna try to see if we can put some of our clips on Instagram because I know y'all be on Instagram too. Sandra's gonna work on that.
Yeah,
we're gonna figure that out.
We're gonna work on that. Okay, I'm the person with all these jobs.
I don't know.
I'm not saying you don't have no job, but I have a whole bunch of jobs.
no. I'm gonna go to see the ones that you cut, and I'm gonna see if I can put them on Instagram. I'm gonna try to load them all on Instagram so we can get some. I'm gonna learn. I'm gonna learn to cut them, and I'm gonna put them on Instagram and put them on YouTube so people can have snippets and enjoy our snippets. Okay, like, share, and subscribe. Hit that notification button
on YouTube. QR code is there,
and share our page. Okay, our page. We got a good strong following on our page, but we need a good strong following on our YouTube channel. So if those of you who are on our page. If those of you who are on our page, please go to our Instagram. I mean, our YouTube page, because it's like 500 of y'all. Go on that YouTube page and go like it and subscribe. All right. So
you may need to repeat that because the internet was. I couldn't hear what you said.
Oh,
you may need to repeat the last thing you said because I couldn't hear it.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yes.
The Facebook page has over 500 people. The 500 people on our Facebook
off so you can hear. So turn your camera off so you can say what you said because it'll just repeat what you said. We know it too.
Let me see.
I can hear you good. I can hear you clearly now.
Oh,
I can hear you. But yeah, turn the camera. Go ahead, say it again.
My Wi-Fi shot it. The 500 people that are on our Facebook page, go to our YouTube page and like. Okay,
that's for real.
So we can build up our viewership.
It ain't adding up.
I think we're gonna send you some messages. Yes. So we want y'all to go mosey on over to the YouTube page, like, share, and subscribe.
Yes. Tell your friends and like all the videos that you
tell your friends.
Like all the videos.
Absolutely.
All right. Vote.
All right. We'll see y'all next week.
Vote March 14th because we don't come back until after the election. So vote March 14th. Unless somebody want to come talk to us before then.
Absolutely. And I think we're gonna have a special guest next week. So we'll see how that goes.
Yes, we're working on it.
All right. See y'all next week.